Gamers, we're back. It's your favorite video. It is the last tier list of 2025. The next tier list you see, it's gonna be in the new year, new me. As always, I want to start off by saying this civilization is going to be for 1 versus 1 land maps only. So no hybrid maps, no water maps. If the civs are good there, I'm gonna mention it, but we're not gonna sort the tier list based off of that. And as always, I want to start off by saying this civilization tier list does not affect the games in your league, whatever that is, bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, conquer 1, conquer 2, or even conquer 3. This is, in my opinion, what's best at the tippity top level. And, you know, a lot of people obviously want to know that, and that's why I'm here, to make it. Let's get started with a very easy one. Boom. I mean, yeah, it's D tier. I do want to say another thing. This Civ tier list doesn't mean that a D tier Civ cannot beat an A tier Civ, or B tier, or C tier, or even S tier. It just means that if I could pick these civilizations, I would always prioritize S tier. OTD, D tier. I think at the pro level, OTD is, again, it's just suffering from the same problems. Double the cost on the units. The fact that you don't have as many units because your units are twice as strong is a disadvantage, not an advantage. So OTD has seen some play in pro level at hybrid maps or water maps, but not on land maps. So that's it. D tier. Next one we're going to be talking about, another easy one. Probably the strongest civ in the game right now is... Psych. Oh, psych. It is Japanese. I think single-handedly the best civ in the game. That's Japanese. I haven't done a single practice game against Japanese. The pros don't pick Japanese on the ladder, and in the tournament we haven't seen a single Japanese game because Japanese has been permanently banned in the tournament. So it's literally been banned every single time. So the civ is just too strong. Why is it too strong? I think the main strength comes from the fact that you're getting free farms, which means you're almost never running out of food with Japanese until way later in the game. You have mounted samurai, you have Yumi archers, which are also very good. That combo is just very good. Everything they have is just very good, I feel like. And with the nerf on pro scouts over time, it just made Japanese better and better. And they can do fast castle, and they can fight in feudal. So, and they can open Dark Age barracks for 75 wood. Like, they just got it all. So let's do another easy one. House of Lancaster. Now, I'm gonna put this in S+ as well, IMO. I think this civ is just too good. Now, we have seen some play with House of Lancaster in the tournament, but I feel like they just win most of the time. And when they don't, it's like they got something happened where they lost. But it is also getting banned very often, and I just feel like it's way too strong. The manner change that happened, funnily enough, didn't nerf it at all. It actually made it stronger initially in the game, and it allowed them to attack you faster. So the manner change is technically worse at, like, let's say, I don't know the exact number, but like 10 to 12 minutes because you have to make another manor. But the moment you make the first manor, it's actually better than it was before because you can make units faster and attack faster, and your economy is actually really good. Yeah, Lancaster is just, it just has way more units than any other civ. And this is with lords recently being nerfed as well. They nerfed their damage and their HP, but I still think they're too strong, even with the nerfs. So the fact that they give HP to your army, everything is just really good. Next civilization we'll be talking about is going to be Byzantine. I think Byzantine is a solid S tier. It is a very strong civ. I would say, I don't know if it's the only civ, but it's a civilization that if you reach castle and you haven't taken damage, it's hard to lose with it. Let's put it that way. Even if you haven't transitioned to farms, the amount of free units you're getting from mercenaries and the amount of free units you're getting from the Golden Horn Tower is is too good. And I think Golden Horn Tower and Mercenaries, you're just producing so many units for free that maybe a little bit too good. So we're gonna put it into the S tier. And that is an infantry civ. You don't even need horses. Although once you reach castle, you do make cataphracts. So next civilization we'll be talking about is going to be English, D tier. Boom. English recently also received some changes. They buffed, they gave like a campfire. It gives like increased gathering rate on deer, I think, and boar. But technically, it didn't change much. Like, it's a small buff, but I feel like English just struggles from the same reason it always did. It's just too slow. I don't even know what they can buff with English, because I feel like English is so close to being broken. Because if English had any faster feudal age or better feudal age, once you transition to like 32 farms, I feel like it's almost, it's like Byzantine. It's like, if you reach that point, it's like impossible almost to lose because your food income is just insane. But getting to that point is what is rough indeed. The next civilization we'll be talking about is going to be Abbasid. I'm going to put Abbasid in C tier. Now, I think Abbasid is almost a D tier, but it has some good matchups. I feel that OTD and English don't really have matchups where you're like, you know, if you knew what civ you're going to play against, I feel like English and OTD have very little, if any, matchups where you're like, yes, I'm going to pick English or OTD. Abbasid has some matchups where it's good against. It's namely good against slower civs or civs that are not very good at rushing super quick. So like Abbasid can be played into Malian, Abbasid can be played into Sengoku, it can be played into Tughlaq Dynasty. Like I said, some civilization, maybe even into Byzantine, because Byzantine takes a little bit to kind of kick off. Maybe for sure into Golden Horde, maybe into KT, because those civs are have a slow start and then they're kind of pumping a lot of units or they're, you know, rushing castle or whatever. So it gives Abbasid a little bit of free space to work with. Whereas these two, I just don't know what the point of those two civs are. Next civilization we'll be talking about is going to be JD. JD, very similar situation as Abbasid. What I mean, not by giving time, but it is good against some civs, but generally you don't want to be playing it at the top level. It's very good, for example, into Delhi. It's very good into Mongol. Maybe it's very good into Tughlaq. I'm actually not sure, but in general, not great, simply because the eco of JD is not very good. And also reminder, JD rework, hopefully coming soon. Copium. All right, moving on to the next one. Let's do another easy one. Malian, S tier. Malian's really good. They did receive a nerf where their cattle, instead of giving 20 food per minute, it now gives 18. So they lost basically 10% of their cow economy, which is, you know, 10% is a decent amount, but it's still very good civilization. And the cow boom is very good. We've actually seen a lot of Malian not go for javelin throwers plus donzas. We've seen a lot of Sofa Archer in Feudal Age. Yeah, Malian I think is really, really good, and it's been picked very highly in the tournament, like among first 5 civs that was usually picked, so yeah. Next civilization we'll be talking about is going to be China. By the way, this is in no specific order, like doesn't matter where the civs are. China is very, very good. The pro scouting nerf actually impacted every civ, obviously, but China still goes for pro scouts because they can use that deer income and that momentum to kind of propel themselves into either castle or to just make bajillion units and kill you in feudal age. So I think China is still very, very, very strong, and we still see it being picked at the pro level, even first in the draft. So China, very good still. Next civilization. Let's do another one. It is going to be, let's do Ayyubid. Ayyubid has been contested very highly at the top level, and people have been picking it. I feel like this is the the most contested Ayyubid picking in tournaments that I have seen or that I can remember. But again, the pro scouting nerfs definitely helped Ayyubid, which we kind of knew because they never went for pro scouting. And we've seen some innovation with Ayyubid. Now, some players think it's actually S tier, some pro players, but I'm going to put it in A tier. I'm not quite sold it's there yet, but Ayyubid feels pretty good to play. We've seen a lot of different wing options. We've seen Eco Wing into Dervish Wing. We've seen Eco Wing into Military. We've seen Dervish into Eco Wing, Dervish into Military Wing. But we've also seen any of the wings into Industry Wing, which is interesting. So this is a build that I plan to make a guide on. It's basically Ayyubid where you open up with whichever wing in Feudal Age, and then you age up to Castle with Industry Wing. That gives you wood and stone. It gives you instant second TC. So it's a very interesting way to play it. So I'm definitely going to make a guide on that. But I think Ayyubid just has really good... I think castle rushing with Ayyubid is a lot easier than it was before. The timing that they have is really strong with Manjaniques. So yeah, I'm going to give it a solid A tier. Next civilization we'll be talking about is going to be Ottoman. I'm just going to put Ottoman in S tier. Ottoman is really good. I've said this before. I'm not very good with Ottoman, I feel like. But again, another civ that has benefited crazy amounts because of pro scouting nerf. Sipahi are maybe the best unit in the game. That unit is wild. They got a nerf base damage or something. They're too good. And once you get military schools going and you reach castle, similar to Byzantine, if you get military schools and you hit castle without taking damage, I feel like it's pretty good. Next civilization we'll be talking about is going to be, let's do Golden Horde. Golden Horde I might give a C tier. I don't think it's D tier. There are some situations where Golden Horde can be played and can be good, but the main issue that it suffers is same as these other two. It's good against some civs, but it is very slow. We've recently seen some buffs to Golden Horde where they're aging up quicker, but I still think they need a little bit of extra help somewhere. I think they're just a very slow. Same as Biz and Ottoman. If you get to castle with Golden Horde and you get those upgrades that allow you to produce an extra unit, and you get Karash Edict, they go from like C tier to like S tier if you get that set up, because you're just producing so fast. Yeah, I think maybe just giving them an extra villager at the start, because they start with 5 villagers, right? I think just giving them an extra villager would probably help quite a bit with that problem. Because I think if I'm not wrong, their feudal age up is the slowest among any of the civs. Next civilization we'll be talking about is going to be Delhi. I'm going to give Delhi an A tier. I think the rest of these civs come down to preference quite a bit. I think Delhi is an A tier. It's definitely not an S tier in my opinion. It has some bad matchups, like really bad matchups. But it has some matchups where it's really good. So you kind of have to be a little bit careful where you pick it and how you use it. But overall, I think it's a very, very good civilization. Next one we'll be talking about is going to be French. Now, French, again, is a civilization that I think some players might put B tier, but I think French is quite strong. French still goes for pro scouts, but you don't need to go pro scouts with French. You can just gather resources. Does have some bad matchups, but overall, I think French is a pretty solid pick, and I personally, I like playing it quite a bit. Next civilization we'll be talking about is going to be, I might have to reorder some of these. We'll go Mongol. I'm going to put Mongol in B tier. I don't think Mongol is great on land maps, but I think it's probably still better than these. Like, I would rather play Mongol than play these. I think Mongol still has some possibility with like Mangudai opening with fast Imperials, or just even trade Mongol. I think can be very good on some maps still to this day. So we're gonna put it in B tier for now. Maybe we'll swap them around. We'll see. HRE. Now this one fell off, man. This civilization, I think, fell off the most and the hardest out of any of these civilizations post pro scouting nerfs. I'm still a bit confused on why that is. Like, HRE was one of the top civs during Pro Scouting era, and it just fucking plummeted. It fell flat on its face. Like, I know Pro Scouting got nerfed, but it is just really, really not great in the current state. And I've seen some players try it, like even with mine work and stuff like that, but it just doesn't feel like it has it anymore. Yeah, it's sad because I love HRE. But on the other side, HRE is played on hybrid maps quite a lot, so potato, potato, tomato, tomato. Next civilization we'll be talking about is going to be KT. I've been playing some 2TC KT, I'm not gonna lie. Out of all the civilizations going 2TC, KT feels pretty nice. I've said this before, but KT sucks on land because you lose 3 villagers when you age up. And, like to feudal age, right? And on top of that, your main bonus is chopping wood and getting food off of it. But because on land maps you don't really do that, that bonus doesn't really exist. But because recently they changed so that the pilgrims cost more wood than food, and because after going 2TC with KT, you want to put a lot of workers on wood, I feel like you can kind of get that bonus working, get that bonus rolling. I kind of enjoyed playing KT 2TC recently. I don't think it's like the best civilization or anything like that, but I do think it's better than these civs, in my opinion, right? And who knows, maybe 2TC is going to be better and better, and maybe KT goes up. That'd be nice. Because I think it's KT is like a really fun civ with all the different age ups and stuff. So I would like to see it be played more, if that makes sense. Let's talk about the next civ, Sengoku Daimyo. This is the hardest one for me to put, because this civ used to be like here with the shinobi being completely broken, but shinobi have been nerfed. I recently played a tournament and I feel like I made mistakes of banning Sengoku because I don't think it's that strong. I do think it is very strong, but I wouldn't put it in S tier. Maybe I would put it in like S minus. Maybe I would put it like this. Like, I do think Sengoku is still very good, but I don't think it's as good as it was. And maybe I would even put it in A tier. I'm not 100% sure. So for now, we're going to put it here. Because the patch landed like 4 days ago. And I've played tournament all weekend, so I haven't really had time to experiment with it. But I think it's either A or S minus. It is definitely not among the best civilizations anymore. I mean, we can just call it A plus, right? There we go. If you guys like that better. Let's go with a Rus. Now, Rus, I'm just going to put it in A tier. Rus did fall off quite a bit. Actually, some of the pro players don't like Rus at all, and they would probably even rate it lower. I mean, maybe they would put these lower and then put Rus even low, like B tier. I think Rus is still good. We didn't know how it's going to work out between the Horse Archer nerf, because they got changed and they have more DPS against unarmored units, but less against armored units. But as it turns out, they also buffed hunting cabins, so you actually get like a 20-second faster age up now with Rus. I think it's like 15-20 seconds, which is pretty nice. So I think Rus is still good. Not a top tier civ where it's like, oh no, he picked Rus, I'm dead. But it's still a pretty good civ, in my opinion. Next civilization we'll be talking about is going to be... Oh, this is a hard one. I have to do another row. Like, this is the most rows I've ever done in a tier list. I might have to do A minus. I think a lot of pro players would disagree with this one. I still think Jushi Legacy is very good on land maps. Even though in the last tournament it is primarily being used on water maps, I still think it's pretty good on land maps. The reason for that is it's very similar to China. It is a lot weaker than China, but it is good for the same reason China is. You just your economy is a lot worse. So just put B plus? No. Because I can't put it next to these two civs. It's just under these. Okay? Thank you. Next one is Tughlaq Dynasty. Honestly, this one is really hard because we just got healer elephants nerfed. So I'm pretty sure that the 1TC all-in on land is pretty meh right now. The question is, and this is very similar to Sengoku, is how good is Tughlaq now? Because they buffed forts a little bit, but they nerfed healer elephants and they buffed raider elephants. So I think we might start seeing 2 TC Tughlaq Dynasty, but I don't really know how good it is going to be. I'm just going to be completely honest with you. So I'm going to put it in C+, but that might be like a C or even a D tier. I genuinely don't know. But we're going to put it here next to KT for now. So like I said, the new civs are a bit of a question mark, simply because we haven't had the time to properly test them. But I don't think they're that great. Like, there might be a C, there might be a C+. And then Macedonian Dynasty, last but not least. Macedonian Dynasty is actually a civilization that has not been picked at all in the tournament. I don't think it's that bad, and I might do a crazy thing here, but I'm going to put Macedonian Dynasty in B tier. Yeah, in the tournament it hasn't been picked at all. I think I was the only player who picked it, but then I didn't get to play it. I think Macedonian Dynasty is okay. It's not great, but it is okay. But then again, these civs are trash, so it's like, I'm going to put it in B tier. I think Macedonian has some potential. I think their economy is probably a tiny bit weaker. It could probably use some help there, but I do think it has potential. That's where I'm going to leave it. The civs that I'm not unsure about. So these ones, pretty confident. This one I'm unsure about a little bit. These ones, pretty happy. This one, other pros might disagree with me. These two, I think they're good there. This one is a bit of a question mark. Tughlaq, a bit of a question mark. I think the rest is pretty correct. Even Golden Horde, even though it's new and we have received changes for them too, their core problems remain. So this is the last tier list of 2025. And now you know, based on this, if your civ is A tier or lower, you can go complain. And you can say the reason why you're stuck in Gold League or Platinum League is because your civ is weak. That's it. If you're watching this on YouTube, I want to thank you so much for watching. And if you're watching live, let's keep going.